Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're back with another episode of Take My Money, where we're going to look at some projects that are on the crowdfunding website, Kickstarter specifically today. They're all Kickstarters for some board gaming related items. Um, yeah, we are going to let you guys know what we kind of think of them. We don't know all that much about them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think we've played. Well, I shouldn't say we haven't played any of them. We may have played one or
Yes.
part of it, maybe. So you will see when we get there. But let us know in the comments below what you're backing on Kickstarter, if you're backing anything, if you're waiting for anything to deliver. There's another project that we're going to talk about today that I am waiting for something to deliver uh, from that publisher. So
Yeah.
we will get there, or when we get there, I'll let you know.
Yes, we will. We got a lot to get through. We're going to try to get it in one Zoom recording. We don't pay for it, so it's 40 minutes. We'll see if we can get it in here.
I doubt it.
But intros usually take half the time. But the first one here, I was going to call it Origami Otters, but it's actually called Tide and Tangle. But all I want to talk about are those Origami Otters. That is the big draw of this game. This has 120 backers, 1,500 bucks, and this is a DIY board game, so kind of a print and play, pretty much, in this case. And I will say, I was confused when I was going through it because I didn't read that it was a DIY initially, and I was looking and I'm like, and I see the prices and stuff, and I'm like, what? That can't be. This is way too nice of stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's you print it yourself, and it does not feel with the components and what they choose to have in the game. It does not feel like a print and play to me.
I would agree. I mean, the artwork on those. I mean, I guess if you were kind of an expert at print and plays and had done it for a lot of them, so kind of had a really good printer, maybe.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's something we haven't really gotten into personally. I don't think we've ever printed off anything for a game. Definitely not a full game. I think we may have printed off some sheets for some
yeah,
roll and write style games, but outside of that, I don't think we've ever printed off a full game.
yeah.
So yeah, this I feel like this one would be a tough one to start with.
Yes, having to assemble some otters. I feel like that would be a little tougher, but it looks like they do try to keep everything pretty simple, just straight shapes, rectangles, and squares for the boards and things like that. So
Mhm.
I think those ones would be all right, but still pretty high quality artwork and all that. So we'd have to find something that can actually make that in a worthy way instead of just some of our printers maybe in the past wouldn't have been the best at this. But yeah,
I
the
was gonna
game.
say, with my experience with printers, this would be like cartridges of ink at least, and that'll cost you an arm and a leg. So all of a sudden, this $12 game costs you 50, 60 bucks.
Yes. But yeah, the game, you're kind of an otter and you're moving around this board. And as the waves come in, the board kind of shifts down like that, and you don't want to be on the bottom when it gets shifted down, so you want to be wary of that. And as the game goes on, it gets moves even more and more. But what you're doing in the game, you're trying to dive down to get these resources, which they have two halves, kind of an easier one to get, easier object to get, and a harder one. So you'll have to go deeper, which is pretty much rolling dice and trying to get a higher outcome, meeting that to gain that, which I assume is worth more victory points. I think these stars there. I think there's some set collection there as well, and ways to gain dice or mitigate dice. Seem pretty cool. The look is drawing me in a lot just because I love the artwork on this one.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I would agree. I like the look of it, but yeah, to me it seemed a little too simple for my personal taste. But I guess that would be a good reason for it to be kind of make it yourself, print and play. That would be something I would be more likely if I did do print and play games typically. I would be a little bit more interested in getting something a little simpler because typically I feel like the simpler games on Kickstarter still end up having some of those bigger prices of like 50, 60 bucks, maybe even more
yeah,
after shipping. and then it's just really tough because it's like, even if it's a really great production and it's a simpler game, that just feels like a lot. But I think this is a good
Yeah.
way to kind of get around that a little bit if you're someone that does print out their games.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that Kickstarter is for.
Yes, this is what Kickstarter's made for. We're starting off with it. Let's see if it's the only one or not. On to the next one. See those mouse commands that I programmed here? I can just go like that, so I don't have to go up to the top and trigger this stupid hovering menu. It's upgraded, man. I even got a red pointer. But more
Nice.
water-themed games. Shallow Sea. This one's got almost 2,000 backers, 100,000 bucks here. And this one gave me feelings of Cascadia, and I've heard others say that, as well as Sagani, which I don't think is nearly as well known as Cascadia, but I believe it is an Uwe Rosenberg tile placement game. And yeah, this one is you are kind of drafting like Cascadia pairs of a fish token as well as a tile, and that can either be kind of one of these tiles which wants to be placed and have each of its kind of sides fulfilled with a fish of that color placed next to it, or else there will be different types of tiles that you can also draft, which will want like certain fish or like three fish of equal type on this right side of it or something like that. Different scoring conditions. So this one definitely gives me feels of Cascadia, just kind of putting the scoring conditions in a different place, where it's not just all the fish of this type have this type of scoring. It's the tiles themselves have the scoring.
Hmm. Yeah, it really made me think of that. Cascadia was the one thing, but then yeah, you bringing up Sagani. That's the one where you need like cards of a certain color or whatever.
Yeah, so it would be like I need a green in this direction or something.
Yeah, and saying that, it reminds me of that quite a bit as well. So yeah, just kind of a combination of the two. So yeah, I really like the fish tokens in this game as well. The production
Yes.
quality of this one looks really solid. And I recently got the chance to play Wondrous Creatures at a convention that I went to and really enjoyed that game. And I believe I think this is the company that made that one. So, and
Oh,
that was a really great production. So I'm sure that this one will be as well. So that has me a little bit interested in it. But at the same time, I really love Cascadia. So
yeah.
do I need another one? I don't know. I really like the fish tokens though, a
Those
lot.
are nice. Those are nice. And
So
I,
that's kind of got me like,
I like they were showing like you can spend the shell tokens to kind of move a fish to another area. So I like that, and like they showed it, and I don't know if that happens very often, but if like you like keep getting a bunch of those, and you can just like chain and have a huge turn, because I think you get one for every tile you complete. So if like, you complete a few tiles, you can just maybe chain one after another. So I
mm,
like that possibility. I don't know if that happens very much, but that's a little different feel than something like Cascadia, where it's just placed one a turn and something. So I am pretty interested in this one. I could see picking this one up. I think it's going to probably be pretty popular. I don't think it'll reach Cascadia levels, but I
right.
could see it getting close.
Yeah, I could see this one being one I'd pick up maybe after the
Yeah,
fact, seeing kind of what people say if it does get compared afterwards to Cascadia. If people are saying that they like it more,
yeah,
then I could see myself maybe picking it up. Um,
yeah.
but
Or
it's a reasonable price there, $40, and then another 14 shipping, so you know,
yeah, just
$55.
bump it up for some expansion stuff as well.
Right. End of next year is when it's delivering. I think the last one that we looked at pretty much is immediate. So you get it
Yeah,
kind of,
printed
I think,
out.
in December of 24. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, so yeah, this one I'm interested to see kind of how it ends up being received.
yeah,
Uh, but I do really love the look of it. And I think these guys have kind of been making some good hits because I think they had like Life of the Amazonia and uh, I think there's another one as well that it seems like they've all been really well received and really great productions. So
banger
they got to
after
keep it
banger
up. I
after
hope they keep it
banger.
up.
Yes.
Banger after banger. They're Seamus.
More animals. Nice to know.
Ooh.
Animals. 333 backers. Nice satisfying number there. 2 weeks to go, over 20,000 bucks. This one is really hyping up the nice to know these facts about animals, which a lot of games do like to include facts on animals, and Wingspan has little bits of information at the bottom of the card. We read it occasionally. I most of the time, 99% of the time, probably do not actually read that. I always say, I'm going to read that. That's going to be so cool. But then I'm too obsessed with the symbols and the colors and numbers and scoring the
That's a
back.
bit too much.
Forget to do that.
Mhm.
This one kind of looks like it might require you to read those facts based on some of the scoring cards. Are like,
Mhm.
oh, animal that gives birth to more females than males, and you'll have to refer to the animal fact on the cards that you played to actually tell that. I don't know what I think about that, forcing me to actually read and
Read and
learn.
learn. My goodness. What are they asking? They're asking too much, is what they're asking.
But yeah, it looked pretty cool. I love the look of the cards. Animals are awesome. Animals are great. The artwork looks really nice. It has a few meeples for different types of animals, the different players moving around the map. I like those, even if it is just like 5 characters. I like that they put a nice touch on each one of them.
Mhm.
The kind of market here I thought was actually pretty cool. I think I figured it out. So you can either discard a card for resources, and I think it'll gain you like 3, 2, or 1 based on where you discard it from, whether it's a freshly turned over card or not, or you can buy the card from there. You have to be at the location, the continent, and you can buy it for cheaper to most expensive for most recently revealed. And then sometimes there's a plane in there in the row, and if you take a card from that row, then you don't have to pay money to move to the continent. It will just be the flight is paid for. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is
Um,
pretty cool.
I would like to see that kind of thing in more games. That's extremely specific, but I do like it.
It is. It does sound like it'd be a very cool thing to do, but yeah, it's obviously you need it to make sense a little bit or
Yeah.
have a reason for it, but I feel like you could do something like that.
Yeah. So then this will be about 41 bucks here for this version. I think that's pretty much the only version there, unless you go up and get your name or customization things in there. And shipping does not look too bad either. So, yeah, this also feels like what Kickstarter is made for.
Yeah, I would agree. It definitely does. And if you're someone that is a person that really, when you're playing Wingspan, one of your favorite parts of it is reading those facts, then I could see this one definitely being for you. It may not totally be for me. I'm not sure. This one might be a little bit lighter than my tastes again, but it is a very. I like the idea of learning these things about the animals and having those cool facts on there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah. Can we go to another nature themed game? I do not know the specific order of all of these. This is not nature themed game. This is,
Wow, another one. Dice Throne. Outcasts.
yes, all about them animals.
Yes. And I think this one might be the biggest project we're looking at this week. 1.3 million, 13,000 backers, 3 days to go. So not too long. But yeah, this is just another one of the Dice Throne, which is, I guess I don't know, maybe you enjoyed it more than I did, but I've tried Dice Throne once, and I guess I don't know, maybe the different packs and stuff play differently, but I'm assuming they use the same core system. I could be wrong on that though. And yeah, it wasn't really a hit for me. Uh, I think I probably in my head compared it a little to Unmatched. I
Yeah.
really enjoy Unmatched, so that this just didn't quite win me over. I can see why it could be popular though and have different characters and stuff. So this is, I believe, just kind of more characters, probably some more
Yeah.
other things as well. Got all these different types of bundles where yeah, you can pretty much uh, yeah get however much content you want. It looks like, yeah, as long as you're willing to pay for it.
Yes.
But yeah, it makes me think a little bit of Unmatched in that way, where it's just kind of more and more characters. So there's a way for you to go out and get those if you really are someone that enjoys Dice Throne. Because yeah, it is a bit of a just a kind of a battler style game, and then you're trying to make combos, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think you're kind of playing Yahtzee type
Let's
of
see.
with your dice and trying to get like a full house or something like that to activate certain combos. I really feel like I should like it more than I did. That was just one play, so and Unmatched definitely grew a lot on me from
Yep.
that first play. I did like it more the first play than I like this, but there's definitely room to grow, and obviously people love it, but probably not. Probably not going to get too much invested into this one when we already are in others.
Yeah, I think that's the tough part too, is yeah, knowing that it would be another one of those that it'd be like, oh, but now there's these cool characters.
Yeah, the
And I
Marvel
really stopped
characters were
myself.
were trying to get us maybe
They
the
did.
Santa and Krampus or whatever
That
those
one
ones
almost got
were.
me.
Yes. But yeah, New Heroes looks like it'll be $50. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh, Although new gameplay bundle, which I think goes with the adventures thing, which I don't know exactly what that is. Is that like a team up thing or a kind of like unmatched
not sure.
adventures? I'm not sure. They're just copy paste and unmatched at this point.
Wow.
Yes. But yeah, various levels for all of those things. I don't know if we have a price on shipping here anywhere. There it is. Depends on
So depending on what you're
what you pay,
getting,
but not too high, actually.
no. Yeah,
Yeah,
not awful.
that is
Depending on where you are.
2025. Which there was a wolf in there, so it was animal themed. And there's a horse here, so this is as animal themed as it gets. This is a Zach game here, so
We
he's
got
all
Barony Royal Edition, 25,510 backers, 4 days to go. And I think this is a reprint of a 2015 game, and I believe this was designed by the guy that designed Splendor.
oh,
So, um, if you enjoy Splendor, maybe you'll enjoy this. I don't know how similar it is to Splendor. I don't believe it's that similar, but uh, yeah, you're. I think Pepper, you would maybe enjoy this one from the sounds of it.
it seemed a little abstract area
Yes.
control type of thing, which um,
Yeah,
I
you're
like
adding.
sneakiness. I like sneakiness. It's my favorite part of
Exactly. That's why
Carcassonne.
I'm thinking you might like it. Because, yeah, I think there's some sneakiness in this one because you're kind of adding these people out onto a map and then kind of turning them into buildings and scoring those
Yeah.
buildings. Um, and yeah, you're trying to get a certain amount of points because you're getting tokens, I think, depending on which type of land
Oh,
those
yeah.
buildings are on. So I think they're different point values. And then, like, every 15 points, you go up this score track until you get to the last track there
Oh,
last piece, and then once you hit that, it kind of triggers the end of the game, regardless of if you're at the top or the bottom of that track. But to kind of get to those, you have to be able to build more of I think it's the castle or whatever it's called.
yeah.
So it looked interesting, but I think this one, yeah, ended up being more of like, this might be more of a Pepper game actually than
Mhm.
I had originally thought based on the name and the cover, which really made me think more maybe Euro mechanism.
Yeah.
I think there is some of that here, but maybe not quite as much as I would have thought. I think this one's
Yeah.
just more um,
Yeah. The
area control.
looks really nice. I like it. And the
Yep.
amount of pieces you're getting. So this is going to be about $40, says here. I'm like, you are
Hmm.
getting a ton of printed wooden components here.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that is a pretty good deal. I mean, I guess we'll check the shipping costs here. But I think it is just that regular version as well. No additional super deluxe, this, that. And it looks like it's gonna be about $10 as well. I guess 10 to $20 based on what version you get. Um, so yeah, this one is, if you are into those type of games, this one is, it's been tested. It's been out there. This
Yeah.
is a reprint of an existing game. I think Tom had maybe a quote on here. I saw it somewhere and he really liked it. So, um, should be a good game. Solid one.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely check out. this one probably has more content than most of the other ones that we're going to talk about. So yeah, if it looks interesting to you, if you like that kind of area control, sneakiness potential, uh, this one might be worth looking into a little bit more and seeing what kind of content is out there for it.
Yeah.
When was that one delivering?
Oh, that one was October
Also, October
2025.
next. There's going to be a lot of them coming there.
Yes. Just in time for Halloween. Oh boy. Clandestine. Okay, now this one's Zach right here.
Is it clandestine or clandestine?
Or clandestine. Or
Ooh,
clandestine.
I yeah. So this one was one that I said yeah. It's at 42,000, doing pretty well. 400 backers 6 days ago. This is one originally I was like, oh, I don't know what this is at all, and I almost didn't even open it up. And then I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, wait a
And you
minute,
saw
what?
this. The most intricate rondels ever.
Exactly. I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on here? This is not what I thought that cover was suggesting. Yeah, and you are going around taking these actions, so you can see um, it's kind of got the Mancala
Yeah.
system as well. So you'll take an action. So right there, they're taking that action, whatever it is. I think they're gaining money, and then depending on how many workers there are there, or the people, they give you a certain amount of kind of action points, so to say. Or if you, yeah, you get a better action the more there are, and then you lay them out in a Mancala
Yeah.
like style. So you put them in the next space. I think the biggest ones have to go last.
Yes, so you're
That'll
activating, I
kind of
think,
determine the
yeah,
order.
the leader from the place.
Right, because to take the action, you need a leader on the space. So you've got that going kind of around the board clockwise, and then you've got your own individual one that's going counterclockwise. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I couldn't, I guess, I didn't look at it close enough to know, is your own personal one, do you have unique actions that only you can take?
Yeah.
Or is everyone's kind of the same and it's,
I think you have a couple unique ones that only you can take. I think you might like specialize sometimes in some of the ones that are on the board, and you might have that an extra one on your board, but I think you do have unique ones for your personal space.
yeah. So I thought that sounded potentially pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I looked too much further into kind of how the actual scoring and stuff did. That part all sounded good, but I guess I don't know the scoring wise
That's true. I don't
if
remember anything about this Ascension board. But yeah, I think you can also like put cards in there. I don't know if that upgrades those actions, but saw like cards being played on the outsides of these actions.
oh yeah, I
Pretty
think
cool.
yeah, you could play cards and then they'd allow you to do some special things. And I think those were also unique to the player. So
Oh,
like I think some players could like add more meeples into the rondel and stuff. Uh, and some could do some other things. I don't remember exactly, but it
bone
made me a
vessel.
little bit more interested in this one.
Yeah, I love kind of action power. So being able to increase the power, the value of an action, and I love Mancala, and special things that only I can do. So that whole set of mechanisms is really intriguing to me.
Mhm.
But
Was
yeah,
this? I can't remember. Was this the one that I was listening to someone saying that it was like way, way thinkier than they would have thought or
well,
something?
yeah, that could be. Although I
Maybe that was a different one.
wouldn't think it'd be. You'd think your actions would be decently limited, but I know it was prototype, but they're saying, oh, this dial that they were tracking their action power on, it goes up to like 24 value. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just a prototype, that's the dial they had, but they said we didn't have any 24 value actions, but it might get up there. And I'm like, that could
Hmm.
be pretty crazy.
It could be pretty
You could
crazy.
get that stacked on certain spots.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, sounds cool, but hopefully not too thinky. That's scaring me now. But the different levels, we got $89 for this deluxe pledge, includes everything you see here. A bone vessel miniature, put some stuff in this skull here, which is kind of cool. And then this $149 for some metal coins. Oh my goodness. Nice. And then fully ascended pledge, $200. Oh my god, get a hood. Is that an actual hood that you can wear, or do you like put it on a meeple or something? That's what I'm
I'm
wondering.
honestly not sure.
And then even more stuff. Get a signed prototype. And then shipping. Looks like nope, no shipping. That's just what's included. Where's the shipping? There it is. Yeah, if it doesn't hit third, well, I guess I mean it hits 30 in a lot of these places, but for us, we are very selfish. We only care about our shipping.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so
hit
gonna be about
30.
20 more. It's
Yeah, it's average.
yeah, you're likely gonna get the deluxe if you get it here. So I mean, that gets you up to $100, over 100. So
That'll be September of 2025.
yeah,
Oh boy. And again, I mean, you feeling old yet? We're already seeing expansions to games we've covered on
I feel
this
like
series.
it's crazy because yeah, it doesn't feel like we've been doing this that long, and yeah, we definitely have seen that
I've been
multiple
waiting
times.
for
This isn't the first
Monumental
one.
since before we even started the channel. My
Uh,
goodness.
but yeah, this is the expansion for Flock Together, Birds of a Feather, Eggspansion, and Reprint. It's doing pretty well.
They
Another,
had to
probably
go.
one of the bigger ones,
You think
2,200.
that's the only pun you are getting with this game? You are dead wrong.
You are dead, dead wrong. Because yeah, we were dead wrong originally when the original game just came out, and just thought it was, I don't know, one of these nature games with birds, maybe. Yeah, it's probably nothing special. And then we got the video, and it was something else. Won us over a little bit. We didn't end up backing it or we haven't bought a copy of it, but still think of it every time I hear the name of the game. So they definitely have me hooked in that way, which is good, making it memorable.
Yes, we
But
got
yeah,
Cluck Norris.
some new characters.
Yes. And people have seemed to like this one, actually, quite a bit. Or at least Camilla Cleghorn from the Dice Tower likes it. But she'll like anything where you're got battle and war,
That's
hatchets and
true.
things like that. But it's been pretty well received, and now that it's back, I'm like, this just feels like one that we should pull the trigger on. I don't know. It's winning me over. I mean, it won me over in that first video, but now I'm just like, people like it too. There's no barrier here. I want to get this game.
Yeah, there should be some content out there for this one if you wanted to learn more about it. Because yeah, you can see that book up there. That's just kind of advancing or growing your character, which is pretty cool. I think a pretty
Much
cool
better
thing.
than like, oh, go then find this card or get this cardboard token and replace it. It's like, no, flip the page, spiral notebook. It's so easy.
Hmm. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the artwork is amazing. Andrew Bosley. Uh, I don't
Eggs.
know that it made our top 10 list, but his artwork's just always great. You got some great content here too if you get the probably I'm guessing deluxeified version.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So
this one worth
it's
taking a look at. I think if you tend to enjoy games with a lot of conflict, it's a cooperative game, right?
$90. Yes, it is cooperative. You're fighting off baddies, other creatures trying to come in and uh, take over. $90 for the base game and $40 for the
Uh,
expansion.
yeah, I can't remember. That might have been why we didn't end up pulling the trigger.
Probably it.
Just a little pricey.
Oh, but shipping, you're saving it.
Okay, so they're probably putting that into the price then. They could have made the price cheaper and then just had more shipping. So yeah,
Do it a
I
little
guess it's
bit.
not awful then. That's kind of the full price almost then for the
Yeah.
US anyway. So yeah, not awful.
Gotta keep an eye on it, looking for a cheap copy somewhere, maybe.
Cheap, cheap.
Cheap, cheap. Can't even.
Ooh, this is one that we haven't really covered that much, but talked about on the channel when we talked about the Garfield thing that they did, their announcement video. This is Shadow Moon Syndicates, the board game. And this isn't actually coming from Garfield Games, coming from Arcus Games, who Shem Phillips works with. It's $54,000, 6 days ago, 500 backers. I think S.J. McDonald did the development on this one, and the designer was a 3 Minute Board Game. I don't know
Oh,
his
yeah.
name. Uh, the person that runs that YouTube channel. So that's kind of cool having it be someone in the board game YouTube world.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the biggest comparison this one is getting is to Ethnos, which is a game that we both really like.
Yeah.
And it's a game that is getting a second edition and already got another game kind of based off it. So we'll find out if this one ends up winning that over. But I think I'd be much more likely to pull the trigger if I like the artwork a little bit more. It's not my favorite artwork.
Yeah.
I like those disc components, but
Yeah.
that's kind of about it.
I like the whole overall kind of look of the game, like this bright red and yellow, and all the colors just pop wonderfully. But when you get close up and you look at the artwork on the cards, like from here, I'm like, oh, those cards look great. But when you look up and you see the characters, I don't know if I really like that art style. Like
Yeah.
this is the most normal looking character. It's kind of a clear image. I feel like they're not overly clear and defined. It's a different style. I'm not saying it's a
It
bad
is different
style,
though.
just not really what I like.
Yeah, it's not one that I'm the biggest fan of
Any
either.
disrespect
Uh,
there, but
but
I
yeah,
like these
I'm
money
guessing
tokens.
there's gonna be people that do really like the style. But yeah, it's just not my style. But everything else about it, it makes me very interested. And yeah, I've definitely considered, especially with the thoughts to Ethnos, uh, and having kind of a what was it, a joint deck, and you doing everything together. So
Oh
yeah, it
yeah,
just really makes me think of it. Uh,
it seems so wrong to like share a deck in that way, but it seems cool too.
mhm.
But yeah, $47 for the core game, 72. Looks like you get an expansion, some dashboards, or 122. Get some money tokens and different upgrades. Looks like some stickers. I would like those money tokens. There's probably an add-on here. $35. Never mind, I don't want them that much. My goodness.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. So many of these are getting
I
like
like the
even trying to
base.
just add on a little bit of something
Only 44.
so
But
spendy just makes it a little bit difficult to.
shipping is about average.
Yeah. So yeah, if you really like the artwork, I feel like yeah, it's a unique enough style that it might be the only board game you have with this kind of art. So if you do like it, could be one worth looking
Yeah,
into a little bit more for you.
yeah,
But yeah, otherwise I'm very interested in the game and gameplay.
yeah, me too. Oh boy. Another one. Ooh, very pretty. Very pretty cover. Polaris. Uh,
I like the cover, and I kind of like the board when you start getting some things in it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's
yeah.
board's not my favorite either. It kind of makes me think almost. We almost have back-to-back boards that make me kind of think of each other. We got Polaris
Okay.
from Simone Luciani, which I
Ooh,
think he does a lot of heavy Euro games.
yeah.
This one I don't believe is a heavy Euro game.
Yeah.
$12,000, 250 backers, 2 weeks to go. And in this one, you're trying to create some constellations with some little chips.
Constellations.
And it all depends on where the moon is and how full the moon is. And that kind of shifts a little
Each turn,
bit.
everything changes. I'm like, okay. Literally one thing is changing here. One thing that may affect a lot of stuff, but
Right.
I'm just expecting you shaking this board and all the pieces are going
Ah!
flying. Everything's changing.
Not quite that crazy, but
Not bad.
yeah. It it seemed like it could be interesting because yeah, throughout the game you're getting these cards to be able to lay down your little token, whatever you want to call them, stars that you're going to try to connect and stuff to create certain constellations. And yeah, you can play, I think, as many cards as you want as long as they are in the same
Oh, yeah.
uh, thing of the moon. So yeah, if it's a half moon, you could play all your half moon cards. And I think you can play some, I don't know if it's stars or something to adjust certain things on the card too to actually get them played. Or you can
Oh,
take shooting star tokens, or you can take cards to kind of gain a hand of stuff that you could all play at the same time. It did seem relatively simple, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to see uh yeah, how interesting this one actually plays from game to game.
Yeah, I like that it's kind of a shared board. I don't know how much interaction it's actually gonna feel like, because I don't
Right.
think you like use the other person's stuff that I saw or anything like that. But it looks cool, and it does start to look a lot nicer once you do get those different pieces on there. Sure.
I would agree. I think that definitely makes it worth having it the way it is, especially with what you're trying to do by the end of the game,
Like a
where you're
modern Ticket to Ride. Oh my
ooh,
goodness. Ticket to Ride that old? My goodness.
it is that old.
But yeah, 38 bucks, pretty good price for that copy. You can add on some deluxe components for 25
There's
and
that Sea Dragons I want.
you'll
I
get
think that's
Sea
also Simone.
Dragons. Yeah, that is
I think that
July.
was also a simpler game.
So maybe he only does simpler games. And shipping's pretty good as well. 9 bucks or 16. So,
Yeah, that's not awful. And the timeline getting here by next summer,
well,
it's not too bad either.
yeah,
Definitely makes me a little more interested.
yeah, for sure. Oh boy, and on to a trio of games. Um,
Yes.
and
Trio
here,
of DNA, Habitopia, synthesis board games.
yes.
47,710 backers, 2 weeks to go. And yeah, this is. I like the looks of these three games. I feel like I didn't look at them enough to know exactly what they all do, but from the looks of them, like the DNA one, you're using these tokens and kind of filling in these cards to do certain, I don't know, DNA. Was that
Oh,
what it
yeah.
was?
Yes. So something with DNA, yes, as the name suggests. But yeah, I think it has, where are these cards? Yeah, like this kind of hex grid here. You'll be putting different, I guess, different types of tokens onto those spots.
Yeah, and I think the artwork works with that as well,
Yeah.
because it's kind of one of those looks of like you're journaling or something, journaling it down as you're learning about these. Um, yeah, I like the look of this one. I don't know. This one would also be a little bit simple, but anytime there's kind of those hex grids and you're filling in the things, I'm always
Mhm.
interested in that. And yeah, those tokens look really, really cool. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how this one would end up working. I
Yeah.
don't know that I'd end up backing this one, but
Yeah.
it does look very interesting.
Because then, like, once you complete it, then you kind of put that out onto the board. Is that how it works?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Like
I
once you
can't remember.
complete it, onto any empty space to complete the sequence. So build a pattern that matches the arrangement on the game board. So that makes me, what was the one we played recently where you were kind of putting different, you were stacking different type colored resources on the board and fulfilling different animals cards.
Harmonies?
Yes, harmonies. That's kind of, I guess that's a little
Yeah,
different, but kind of makes me think of that.
yeah. Well, I can see that a little bit.
But yeah,
I
that
can
one
see that a
looked
little bit.
cool. And the Habitopia. This is in a tin. We'll see more tin boxes coming up later, but this one was in a tin and it's just got a deck of cards, pretty much.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, another. They all look different, but they all look pretty great. All three.
I agree. The artwork on these is really, really phenomenal, and yeah, they do all have their own unique look, which is awesome. But yeah, another one where it looks like it could be interesting. Where yeah, you're I don't know, splaying these out, melding.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it's called, but it does look very cool. Uh, especially with that artwork. It's really fantastic artwork again.
Yeah, I'm looking for thought it might be Hokkaido or whatever a few years ago that did not go over well with Michaela at least. But I'm looking for a game where this melding or whatever, stacking cards, overlaying each other, kind of having a grid and building off of that. I've been looking for a game that does that perfectly. Hopefully this is the one and we can end up getting this one, but it looks cool. I don't know exactly how it works. I assume it has to be touching some stuff, maybe meet some requirements or different patterns. It always looks cool whenever you're doing that in a game, I think. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's got me interested in that one. And then Synthesis is a roll and write game here, and this one you are creating kind of DNA or molecules or whatever, creating new unique things based on these dice, which will kind of give you a color or a shape and color, I believe, or something like that. Is it okay?
Something like that.
It might decide kind of what dice you're playing with, what dice someone else is playing with based on this rotating board here. And
Mm-hmm.
then you roll the dice, you draw a blue of this shape, and then this die will also tell you how you modify it, either if you double it or remove a piece of it, remove a line from it, a segment,
Mm-hmm.
or different things like that. And you'll be putting them on this board. Then once you complete the shape, the color that completed it is the color of the shape, and then its value is determined by how many of that color make up the six sides of it. And then depending on that, so if you got a six blue, as you can see here, you color in the blue on this track here, which keeps track of kind of one, two, three, four, five, six value ones. And you're also trying to link those into connecting of the same types, which that kind of makes me think of Cat in the Box, where it's like you're doing all of this and then you're scoring, but then where you score, kind of in this grid, what you fulfill, you're also trying to connect over there. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the lesser part of Cat in the Box, but maybe here it'll be done in a cool way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hopeful for that because I like the look of this one as well. And I feel like we maybe more than some other people. I know a lot of people seem to be, I don't know, tired of the roll and write sort of genre. Uh, I feel like they hit the spot for us just because they tend to be a little bit more approachable, a little bit shorter. They tend to have that uh, quality about them. So as long as they have just enough to them that there's still some good decisions, we tend to like those. And
Yeah.
that one looks really cool. And what you're doing seems like it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So then I assume various pledge levels. 15 bucks for Habitopia, 25 for the roll and write, and 40 for DNA. I guess get an all-in 3 games for 79 bucks, which is pretty good for 3 games and
Yeah.
quite a
And then only
few.
$10 for the shipping with that one.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean,
And I think you
90
get the
for three.
deluxe upgrades thrown in there if you do get all 3 of them. So that's pretty good. And I don't think there's like one that I'm like, usually when there's a group of games that they're having, there's like one, I'm like not interested in that one, but maybe this one and maybe that one. But all 3 of these have my interest. Even their old games. I think we had looked at some of these. We must have done photo tour. I know we looked at Pacific
I know
Coast.
we looked at that one
I did
because,
like that one too. When you did
yeah.
that photo tour, looks cool on this cover. I like that little Jeep down there. I don't know how they drove it up there, but uh, yeah, looks like they got good games. I am interested.
Yeah, I think that's a very solid price for that, especially if you're interested in all three.
Yeah,
Uh,
looking
Seems like
for
a good price, but
yeah,
it could be wrong. It all depends on your value of the board games, obviously.
yeah,
But
looking
seems
for
reasonable to me for Kickstarter.
yes, looking for June as well next year. And then the tin, more tin. We promised you more tin, and we are
Pepper
delivering.
promised it with everything he had. This one's at almost 30,000 bucks, 700 backers, 4 days to go. So yeah, you've got some options of 10 games here. Um,
Hmm. This
yeah,
is
well,
I've seen a few. I played the Mint. There were a couple games that were like Mint Town, Mint City, Mint Motel. I don't know what they're called. There was a Mint series of games, and I played one of them on Tabletopia a long time ago. And I don't think it was this company, but I have the very minimum experience with these small kind of mint tin type of games, and I think it was all right. But everyone's trying to go smaller nowadays. It's kind of crazy. What's next? That's what I ask.
Yeah, I know. Now just going back to what I just said about us, kind of tending to enjoy roll and writes, which I think one of the things too to them is they tend to be a little bit smaller. Usually can make a smaller version maybe of a game, but sometimes, and this might be a case of one of those times. Don't know. I haven't played these. Uh, Sometimes I think making them smaller takes maybe away too much of the game, and then it becomes too, I don't know, sometimes too simplistic and not enough there for me, I would say.
Yeah.
That's I think maybe kind of the thought there was something interesting about this where you're, doing these dice and going back and forth in combat. Um,
Yeah.
and doing different spots that kind of do different things. Like I think some allow you to attack, some allow you to like shield. Um,
Yeah.
so that seemed interesting, especially for a smaller type game. But
Yeah.
I don't know that it was, I guess, enough to necessarily win me over. And then this, I don't know. In a way, it's kind of an interesting theme, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know about putting these monstrosities together. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it looks like it.
it's cool, and it is always intriguing when they do make something small, but I think as like a new game, I do tend to prefer larger packages. But like Gloomhaven, the buttons and bugs, like that one is just more intriguing to me than these, just because that is a huge game turned into a small version, very small version of itself. Where I'm like, oh, I would like that in a smaller version. Where these, I'm like, if I'm getting a new game, I would like a regular size. But it's also cool and great for travel, I assume, as well.
Yeah, that would be one of the big pros to some of these smaller mint games, or
Yeah,
there's also the Wallet series of games. Good thing about
tiny,
those is they do allow you to kind of travel with them.
yes, and tiny epic series, like they look massive now compared to these.
That's true. It does make those look very large in comparison.
But yeah, so a lot of games here. I feel like they're a little expensive. Um, for I guess yeah, the pledge tiers up here. Different ones you can get pretty much any two for 24 bucks, which seems like a little much, but I mean it's a
Yeah,
pretty cool container as well with it. So
yeah,
40 bucks for four. Otherwise, everything of their games for 100 bucks, which I guess I don't know. It looks like they have a couple other games previously. I don't know anything about those. Super Snipers. Interesting name. It should have been Super Spider Snipers, I think. Add one more in there. And the shipping is going to be another 10 bucks or more.
yeah. But not too bad of shipping, but yeah, it'll be coming July 2025. Uh, yeah, this one's more of a thing where you gotta kind of look at them all and see
Yeah.
if you like them. Maybe a little bit better deal if you wanted multiple. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
especially at an individual level. Oh, I guess I don't know. Was that even an option? Maybe you have to buy at least two. Uh,
You can get a print and
so
play.
you do a print and play.
Yeah.
Gives you another option. I guess I don't know. It's
I
probably
don't
not
know if
quite
you
as
can print
nice.
this one.
Can't print that tin.
Can't print that tin. So have to use an actual mint tin. Speaking of mints, we are on to more sweet stuff. Sweetlands advanced strategy game to build city of sweeps.
This one's doing quite well. $440,000, 4,000 backers, 2 weeks to go. And yeah, this has been one that I've been interested in for a while. Because I think I feel like I follow them on Instagram and they've had pictures for quite a while now. Uh, Very good at trying to advertise their game, and it's looking like it's paying off. Uh, but yeah, this one, especially since it ended up being heavier than, you hear it's going to be like this sort of sweet theme, and it's like, oh, that seems maybe a little bit more like, oh, it should be an approachable game, but now, looking from the sounds of it, it's going to be a little bit of a heavier game. And then all those components
Look
that
at
Pepper's
those.
going by are just amazing,
400,
absolutely amazing.
450 wooden tokens. Sure, there's like 20 of these tents. But those are fantastic. These are some of the best
These
screen
are
printed
amazing.
things that I've seen in a long
I
time.
100% agree, and that's got me even more excited. And then you've got kind of, I believe you get your own, well, you get your own character, and they all do different
Oh
things. It
boy.
sounds like. I guess I don't know how significant of a difference it is.
Oh, oopsie. I X'd out of it. The mouse controls have struck back. Luckily,
Wow,
I
wow,
can
wow!
bring it
I
back. I
knew.
can revive it after I've X'd it out. Thankfully, I programmed that
Wow, wow, wow!
well.
This guy. He just did
I
not
knew
like
once
the
I
idea
said
of
it.
having different characters. He didn't like that idea.
I did
That's
not.
too
I'm like,
far.
I'm out.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how different those will actually be, but that is kind of cool that you can hopefully get a slightly different experience with the different characters.
Yeah, that is the one thing. Like, I love the whole production of it, except maybe the artwork for the characters. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, it's probably not my favorite, but it's probably more positive than I would have initially
On the
thought.
meeples, it looks really nice.
Yeah,
I will say.
yeah, and maybe in some ways I wouldn't like it, but I for probably I think there'd be a lot of games I wouldn't like it for, but maybe it's just the full package makes it a little more appealing for me. I don't know. I might be giving it more grace just because the rest of everything else is so amazing looking.
Mike DeLisio seems to like it. Seems to
Yes,
like it.
so
Is that
this
supposed
was
to
the one.
represent Mike DeLisio? That's my question.
It is, and yes, Mike DeLisio is the one that sold me on some of their other games, which is the one. This is the one that I am waiting to receive my stuff. So note that they do have their recent one still outstanding, but I think they're going to start shipping here in the next month or so, and I think the due date was November of 24.
Oh,
So I think they're still pretty close on track. So I'm not too concerned about this one. But yeah, and then yeah, just filling in your own board with those tiles and stuff, and just the whole thing just makes me really excited. I don't. The funny thing is, I don't really know exactly how it
oh,
plays, but just the look of it makes me think I would like how it plays because you're building out a city and stuff. Tend to like those kind of games, and just the love praise that it's kind of getting, and then the production quality is kind of amazing. Heavy Euro, you got me with that.
yeah, a lot of people talking
That's a lot
about
of
this one.
content.
Holy moly. That is.
But yes, I would like to try the other because they had kind of a reprint one where I think I got Biohack and Ostia and Aqua Garden, I think. So
Yeah.
I would like to try those before getting this, because if I really liked those, then I would feel much more confident. Even though I
Yeah.
think those might be, ah, those are probably different levels of
Yeah.
um, heaviness as well, I guess. So
Yeah. This one is $87 for that regular version, up to 120 for a deluxe.
it seems like a
Um,
lot, but then I start thinking about
a lot.
the pieces, 450 of like some of the greatest screen printed pieces I've seen.
Another
It
20
makes it
bucks
seem more.
shipping.
What's that?
Another like 20 bucks plus of shipping, but I think these are the deluxe. If you get it, these character tokens, I believe.
The character tokens themselves are the deluxe.
I
Everything else is
believe
normal.
so. So deluxe is upgrade pack, which is card sleeves, skill tiles, inner tray, 28 character, sweeples.
And
Uh,
all unlock stretch goals. So yeah, I guess if that is the case,
but I
what
mean,
was
all
the
this
difference
stuff
in price? 120 to what was the other one?
to 87. So like 90. So
So
30 bucks.
$33
Not
difference.
that bad.
I actually probably if I'm getting the rest of my pieces already screen printed, I maybe wouldn't care that much about that because I don't care about sleeves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I might actually don't usually go for like a standard pledge, but maybe it'd be worth it. I'd have to look exactly to
Oh, yeah.
see what the
Looks like it
difference
might have a
is.
tray to put some tokens in. I don't know if that's going to be like essential, like Anno 1800. It doesn't look like there's that many, but there's some.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it's not adding too much. Definitely not essential. So
yeah.
yeah,
But
that one looks good. I'm not going to be surprised when this one shows up.
and yeah, I mean, I'd be a little bit more worried about it because I think originally they like when they first ran it, because I think I wanted biohack, and then I'm like, ah, no, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And then I ended up not having a pledge
Oh,
manager, so I couldn't wait back. But then I think they have had it after the recent where they did the reprint of all of them. So I guess I didn't look to see if this one said it's going to have a late pledge option or not. But now I'm assuming that it will. I guess based on their last one would make me think that this would then. But
yeah.
I guess I can't be sure of that. I can't just assume. Because I do know they did at some point with their other ones did not have a late pledge. So
Mm. This one's
just note
looking
that.
for September of that. So see. It sounds like that's going to be your pick of the week, but we'll see. We'll see if there's anything else that could possibly top it. I doubt it. My goodness, it is immediately topped.
I was thinking about which one of these would be my pick of the week because it's definitely probably between these two. But the fact that this is an expansion probably allows that one to win. Just because I don't know, sometimes it's tougher to get expansions played versus just playing new base games, I think. Um,
Yep.
but doesn't mean I'm not excited about this. Clans of Caledonia Industria. 317,000, almost 5,000 backers, 2 weeks to go.
That,
And yeah, this is a way to finally, because I think Clans of Caledonia has not been the easiest game to get your hands on necessarily.
oh,
So this is a great time to get this game. I think it's an amazing game. It's in my top games of all time,
it is
and
technically in mine as well, just not quite as high.
just not quite as high. But you can play it on Board Game Arena if you wanted to try it there before you go and purchase it here. But then they also
New,
came out with an expansion here with
there's
some
new
new,
double-sided map tiles. Oh my
yes.
goodness.
And then they had taken you down to the train station, like in
Forget
Yellowstone.
I love the game, and I think I'm more excited to just see it again versus actually wanting to add a bunch of new boards to this and a whole rails and sails part here on the side. That's gonna double the complexity. That scares me off.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I do have that worry as well because it's already a heavier game, and yeah, adding additional things, I'm like, does it really need another board with
Well,
trains on it? And
if you're getting these wooden components, you need it.
you might need it. You're right, but I think they also were. It sounded like you could sell your goods with what was it, farmers market or something. And I was
Um,
like, okay, that actually sounds pretty interesting, depending on what you get from that. Just because
okay.
right now the main way to kind of trade, I mean, there's a market to actually trade things in. The values are going up and down.
Yeah.
But I would be interested to see kind of what that does. I haven't looked at it that closely yet, because this is kind of another part of this and something to be aware of. This one has like two or three outstanding projects that the idea was to ship them all at the same time to provide like a cheaper shipping option, depending on how many you backed or how many you ended up getting. And those ones have been sitting out for a while now. I think this was originally supposed to release like even maybe last year, or earlier this year at least, and it's obviously not done that. And you can see there, I think it's supposed to deliver now in like July, middle of the summer.
Oh, yeah.
But just to be aware, there are other kind of games connected to this as well. So there is that little bit of hesitation, worry with me just a little bit. I was really excited about the idea at first, but for how long this one has kind of taken, it's made me a little bit more
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hopefully it should be gameplay, sound, and
right.
tight at this point, but yeah, ooh, a long market so you know what's coming out. I do like that.
Ooh, I like that as
Perfect.
well.
Perfect information.
I
Yeah, it's
do like that as
interesting
well.
that the expansion alone and the base game alone are actually the same price here. But then you can bump that up to about 80 there, $83 for
And I
the
think the expansion
combo.
box is supposed to be big enough to fit the original in
Oh,
it.
look at that. That's another big part is like that game is packed. And to be able to obviously fit it a lot better and fit an expansion in there now and have good storage to hopefully make things easier to set up. I don't know if it's that hard to set up, but just storage is awesome to have a solution for. And while I don't like the cover as much as the base game cover,
I agree.
I will still enjoy having this box.
Yeah, I think that's the only unfortunate part is I think I like the original cover a little bit better. But it's not an awful cover, just like the original better. But yeah, I think that's a decent price, and for the kind of the games that or were kind of releasing together here, I think they've all been pretty reasonably priced. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it is a bit, it's an expansion, so I mean, it always seems like a bit much for an expansion when you're paying $40, I
You
think,
getting
but
some metal coins?
I don't know. I
Always
don't know
good.
if we'll be getting any metal coins, Pepper. We'll see.
But
But you
yeah,
do use them. You do use them
yep,
every
a lot.
turn, so might be worth it.
But yeah, the shipping, I guess I don't. Who knows what that shipping is? I guess you remember
Yeah,
telling me
that
what
ship.
shipping
I
is.
don't remember off the top of my head, but it's some combination depending on how many games you're buying, and yeah, it's just a
There
big
you go.
thing.
Yeah, you can
And
go and look in this and find what it
and
would
at
be.
this point, I hope it works because otherwise, it's going to really make people upset. I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
if that doesn't work, that would be a shame because this game deserves to be in a lot of people's hands. It's very popular,
yes.
but
And there's those other ones
even
I was
more.
talking about:
Oh
Millennia,
yes.
Thiefdom. I've really been waiting for Thiefdom, but it's just kind of completely dropped off my radar at this point.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, those were both Kickstarters in 2023. So you see, it's been a little bit of a little bit of a wait considering we're almost in 2025. We're getting very close to 2025. So
Yeah.
I think
Wow,
there's
it's that
people that
long
are a bit
ago.
upset.
Wow, it's crazy. It
Yeah.
is crazy, but it's in the home stretch, hopefully. But yeah,
Yes.
$42 there's a lot of stuff in that game. $42 just if you want to get the base game, I would
Yeah, I'd
highly
even yeah. If
recommend
you
it.
want to just get the base game, I would be totally fine with that. Can't speak for the expansion as much. I think the base game's definitely worth the $40, and even whatever is shipping another 10, 20. I think it's worth it.
Absolutely. On to the grand finale.
What did Pepper put as the Oh
Oh
my goodness!
boy. Pew, pew. Western legends, stories. It is turned into Red Dead Redemption 2 now, and it's all about the story. You got about 5 million hours of gameplay in this box, I assume. Maybe not quite. This one, I, I guess I don't know. I was gonna say this one's doing really well, but I'm like, we had $1 million project earlier, and I'm like, with that in mind, I feel like Western Legends is pretty popular. And just with a name like that, I would think maybe this could do a little better. There's still like 2 weeks left, though. But 2,200 backers, almost
Yeah,
300,000.
I feel like I kind of knew this was coming out, but I think we recently had one of these that we did where I thought it was a different
Oh,
one
yeah.
that
There
we
was
looked at,
another
but it was
very
not.
similar feeling game.
Right. But yeah, I feel like I kind of knew, but overall, I feel like they haven't. I don't know. I feel like they haven't done the greatest job at saying that this is something that's out there. Uh,
Yeah.
like I guess I don't know how ads target people and stuff, but like Sweetlandia. I feel like I've seen like a million things for that one. Uh, and this I have not seen anything, or maybe one
Mm.
or two ads. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe not even. Uh, And yeah, so I don't know why it's not doing a little bit better. And maybe it's just everyone's sick of Western legends at this point. Who knows?
That's true. It
It's
could be.
dropping
It
for
could
him.
be. Um,
Does it have Rob Davio storytelling?
I don't know. I did not see his name. I did sadly, so
That's another
I'm not
thing.
going to get that. But I guess yeah. Is this how gameplay? Is it like the same game but in a
It said
story?
they made some changes, but overall I think it said that it was pretty close to the same kind of gameplay that you find in Western Legends.
Oh, yeah.
But then yeah, you're getting different characters that have different backstories and stuff, and exploring, opening up the land,
Yeah.
which I think that sounds pretty cool. Uh,
God, everything here just looks really, really cool. They do a great job at just making everything like all of this, kind of the style of it, the wood and all that just looks amazing.
mhm.
Miniatures, the player boards, having the pockets and that leather type of look. It's just a great cohesive production.
Yeah,
But
I'd be curious if this has enough in it and is different enough that I feel like there's some certain strategies we tend to use when we play Western Legends, and it just kind of feels like a similar game every time you play it. Uh, but I would wonder if this changes things enough that it makes it a little bit easier to not do kind of the same things.
oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, I feel like because there would be a story element, it will hopefully kind of put you on a path and
mhm.
really give you. I know that's kind of the thing of sandboxes. There's no direction. Go do whatever you want. But
Right.
um, I think something as thematic as Cowboys and how thematic that base game is, I think this is going to be a perfect match. Hopefully. And maybe even a replace. I'm gonna say this is the definitive version of Western Legends. I'm gonna
Wow.
calling it
Hasn't even
now.
played it.
Haven't even played it, but I can't win the other one, so it's got to be this one. But yeah, $75 for that base version. You can upgrade it to the deluxe. Oh, you need to upgrade to the deluxe to get the saloon dice roll. Oh, might be worth it. Might be worth it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, a bunch of
Yeah, it's
Switch
a
gold.
tough one. I, it is tough. I feel like if this had come out a few years ago and I think it was still a lot hotter for us,
Yeah,
I'd probably be much more interested in it.
yeah.
But I think it has kind of cooled a little bit for the whole group. I guess I have to see what Michaela thinks about it, how
That's
much interest
true.
she
That's true.
has.
Have you even played that expansion?
We have not played the expansion, the
Have
Blood
you
Money
have,
expansion yet.
have you read the 1,000-page rule book?
Not yet.
Hardcover.
Not
It's
yet.
still sitting in that like bottom left corner of that big
Yes, it
shelf.
is.
Fancy. But yeah, so a little expensive game, and yeah, it just feels like for us, maybe not Michaela, but like if we did get this, we'd probably be looking to sell the other one, or at least not have both of them. It's not that popular, doesn't get played that much in the
Mhm.
collection, sadly. Shipping is going to be another $20 there, so you're well over 100, no matter, well, not over it. You're about 100, no matter what you're getting.
Well over a
Well
hundred.
over 195 bucks. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
cool.
Coming out August 2025, so end of next summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be interested in this one. Uh, but I might let other people test the waters first and see kind of what people think about it come next year.
So I guess you're going with Sweetlands as your pick of the week. I think I had to go either. Now I'm going with Shallow Sea, the Cascadia slash Sagani feel. It just we got a sleeper hit. It's not even going to be a sleeper hit. It's going to be a massive hit. This game.
I hope it's really good. I hope it really is because I love the look of it. I just don't know. It will do enough to stand out.
We'll see.
Will do enough to stand out. Because I know Sweetland definitely will. It will definitely do enough to stand out because the production is amazing. Has nothing to do with the gameplay. The production's just that good. But yeah, let us know in the comments below which ones you are most interested in, if there are any that you are backing, or if there's other ones we missed, and we will try to get to them next time, which will be a couple weeks out. So, yeah, let us know in the comments below what you'd like to see, or what you're backing, what you're waiting to receive. Are you guys waiting on your Ostia and your Aqua Garden and your what was the other one that I said? All those ones from whatever the publisher's name is. But yeah. Otherwise, if you like the content, subscribe to see future ones, and we hope to see you on other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling our content.